This is a holistic view of pretty much everything I've done to change my life in the past 3 years. From my body transformation, which is a very major part of my self-improvement journey, but it's not the component I'm gonna be focusing on in this video. That's gonna come later. Business, making money, my education, mentors, jobs I've had, which I think you guys are gonna be very interested in. That's another very big component. Spoiler alert, they weren't just normal jobs. I'm very fortunate to have been making money online since I was 16, though I didn't exactly look successful. And pretty much all the interesting things I've done along the way. Something for you guys to get to know me a little bit. I'm obviously a pretty new content creator. Hopefully you find it entertaining and maybe you learn a few things along the way. So we kick things off in the summer of 2021. This is post-COVID. So I say post-COVID, but it wasn't really after everything had been resolved. It was after the initial scare. So what I mean by that is in the education system, everything had been shut down physically. It all gone virtual, and I was basically at home learning online, which was all bullshit. At this time, I was pretty much playing video games all day. Every once in a while, I would leave my little dungeon to grab some gummy bears and pizza. Still some of my favorite foods, I'm not gonna lie. Very palatable, absolutely delicious, but terrible for you, and packed with calories and garbage. I was a hardcore Minecrafter, Roblox player. If you're curious, my game of choice was Rogue Lineage. I'd argue one of the most toxic games on the entire internet. If you're unfamiliar with it, the toxicity is along the same lines as Rust. I was a big Rust player too. You can tell by looking at me that I was a big Rust player. And yeah, so these habits pretty much across the span of COVID got me to the point I was at July of 2021, which was my lowest. And there are a couple factors at play here as to why I decided to make the change at this point. So first of all, it was summer, and I really liked the idea of making a lot of change and improving myself and coming back after this long break of COVID, even though compared to before COVID, I had significantly deteriorated in terms of looks, lifestyle, etc. I really wanted to improve and come back looking better. I think it's a bit of a fantasy for a lot of guys to disappear for a year or two and come back looking absolutely jacked, rich, successful, you know, just looking like an absolute G. Shout out to Sam. I had always wanted to look amazing, have that jacked, shredded, lean, aesthetic physique, just like the protagonists in all of my favorite anime. A lot of these anime physiques still inspire me and motivate me. Like, who does not want to look like this motherfucker? At this point, I didn't really have any big dreams or anything going for me. The main thing I was looking for was just to improve my body and look good. I got pretty much no attention from women. I wanted to get girls. I think I'd been reading Solo Leveling. That kind of put a bit of inspiration into me too. And I got my driver's license at this time. And what that did was it really put into perspective the fact that I wasn't a kid anymore. I was growing into adulthood, college, and I guess the real world was right around the corner. I wanted to prepare, be good looking, and just realize that I wasn't in Fantasyland anymore. This is real life. Like I've said in one of my previous videos, you only get one life. You shouldn't accept anything other than living your dreams. And I was very far from that. I hated the way I looked. I was depressed, but I understood that I could change that. And so I was willing to do whatever it took to get there. I started doing push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and squats in my room over the summer, tracking my calories, but my habits were still far from perfect. Around this time too, we began developing our property a little bit, so I was doing a lot of landscaping, field work, and so that really helped to get me off the computer, get me outside, and again, just put in perspective that I was spending all of my time in the virtual world, but this literally physically forced me to touch grass. Like, I went outside and I mowed, and I got grass all over me. It was the epitome of touching grass. Like, that's literally what I was forced to do, which was a great thing for me. Over the years, doing landscaping, farming, labor played a major role in my character development and eventually would be channeled into entrepreneurial desire because I didn't want to be a landscaper when I got out of high school. I wanted to build some kind of career for myself outside of hard labor at the very least. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do yet, but I was obsessed with YouTube, which would really begin to play a role in the coming months. So just to reiterate a little bit, my main goal here was just to lose weight. I didn't have any aspirations to lift weights or do bodybuilding. I had no passion for fitness. I just wanted to lose weight and get skinny. And my only goal at this point was to get abs. I wasn't very well educated on how to build your physique, and I didn't fully understand the role of protein and diet. I just ate low calorie and did some basic resistance training because I knew it was good, which looking back wasn't a bad move at all. As I got more serious about wanting to lose weight and really just wanting to look good in general, I started to really get into self-improvement. I was doing a lot of research on weight loss, fitness, and I eventually stumbled across the YouTuber Hamza, who for a lot of people I think is really almost the father of their self-improvement journey, and is a bit of a turning point where you start to take things a lot more seriously and you really begin to reflect on yourself, your habits, and just the things you're doing in your life in general. I think getting into this stuff really refined my mindset and got me into way better habits and just put things in perspective for me. It was really around this time when my perspective began to change, and I realized that spending all my time playing video games, watching anime, and eating garbage food was probably not the best idea. I specifically remember being on the riding lawnmower and listening to the hours-long Hamza videos while I was doing it, because we had a lot of land, a lot of grass to mow, lots of landscaping work to do. So while I did it, instead of listening to music, I decided to listen to content that would help me improve myself, because at this point I had virtually no education or understanding on exactly what it was I needed to do in order to get to where I wanted to be, which at this point was just having a six-pack. But being exposed to self-improvement and Hamza and all these new ideas really led me to making bigger goals, setting higher aspirations for myself, and just understanding that I was meant for more than just having a six-pack and looking good. In terms of my education, I was in an early college program, which essentially I completed high school and got an associate degree at the same time. It was a very rigorous and high-level program. I see getting through it as one of my first really big early accomplishments. I'm really proud of everything I did there. So as we moved away from summer and into fall, I was still fat, but because I had been exposed to some new ideas, concepts, and I was better educated on fitness, I began to get into the gym, which was free for me to use, at my early college, which was located on a community college campus, so really it was the community college gym I was using. I had full access to it, I could use it whenever it was open, so naturally, with the knowledge I gained and the snowball I started rolling over the summer, I began using it almost every opportunity I got. I was constantly in the gym. As I kept setting bigger and bigger goals and wanting more and more from life, alongside just wanting a six-pack, I started to realize that really I wanted to make money online. So I started a gaming YouTube channel, and a little embarrassingly, I played Roblox, but the game was pretty fucking good, I'm not gonna lie. It was called Deepwoken. I actually did extremely well for myself. The channel was called Sozo, in case any of you guys are interested in going back and watching my very old videos. Bit embarrassing, but still an accomplishment nonetheless. I had no idea what I was doing. I just randomly, sporadically decided to start a gaming YouTube channel. I popped off, got in and out, hundreds of thousands of views, made some decent money, and built a little bit of credibility for myself, made some connections, and learned a ton. But as I kept improving myself, making lifestyle changes, building myself up more and more in the gym, in late February and early March of 2022, I realized that having a gaming channel just isn't what I wanted to do. I had to force myself to get on the game at this time because I really just had no passion for gaming anymore at this point. I'd occasionally hop on and play the one-off game, but really I enjoyed the YouTube and entrepreneurial aspect of it, not the gaming part. So I stopped uploading altogether, but I captured all the experience I gained and just saw it as me leveling up. It was a part of the journey. I could have kept uploading and making money, but I just had no passion for it. I didn't see myself doing it long term. The money wasn't extraordinarily important to me. It was the principle and concept of it. I wanted to do something meaningful. I wanted to help people, which as I continued to shift my mindset, set bigger and bigger goals, I was really invested into self-improvement and a big fan of Hamza and everyone in the space. During spring, I started watching this channel. He was called Harbinator, or Sam Harborn, who is a very important figure in this story. Fast forward to summer of 2022. In June, I saw that Harbinator, who I'm just gonna call Sam for the rest of this video, posted a video editing job opportunity. Now, being in the position I was, having the experience from my previous YouTube channel where I really focused on honing my editing skills, I went ahead and applied. Pretty much, he just had like a video uploaded on Google Drive, you would edit it, send it back to him, fill out a small application, and essentially whoever edited the best would get the job. So I took a few days and edited this video, got it back to him, and spent about a week painstakingly waiting to see if I got this job. And to my avail, I didn't get it. Someone else had unfortunately gotten the job, and I was honestly really sad about this because I was in the perfect position to have taken up this opportunity. I had a good amount of experience with YouTube, I'd really been into self-improvement, and I wanted to do something meaningful and help people. But that's not where this ends. A few days later, I get contacted by Sam, and he's like, "Hey man, so the guy I just hired actually sucks. he's not able to perform the job well at all, and I'm interested in taking things further with you. So pretty much he hits me up and I end up getting the position because I was essentially the runner-up. Now, it was during my time working with Sam where I saw the most exponential and amazing progress of my entire self-improvement journey. He had undergone a very similar transition to me in terms of gaming. I was in the perfect position to be working for him, and I've got a fantastic noggin on me and a great student mindset, which really accelerated my growth. And alongside this, I was making more and more progress in the gym. I was learning how to train better, optimizing my diet, and by this point, I'd completely shifted away from my old mindset of playing video games and eating gummy bears all day to focused on wanting to make money, give back to my family, and just build a career for myself. The pay wasn't phenomenal. It was really around this point when I realized that in the long term, I think YouTube and content creation, building a personal brand is really the right thing for me. Working with Sam was like having a self-improvement coach slash mentor available to me 24/7, day in and day out. In case you guys don't know, at this point, Sam was the right-hand man of Hamza and the lead editor of his channel, which is very important for later. So during my time working with Sam, the exchange of mindset, ideas, and just overall knowledge in general was extremely good for my growth. I was very fortunate to be in this position. Things were going wonderfully until we fast forward to October of 2022, the beginning of the month. Sam hits me up and he's pretty much like, hey, I don't think I really need an editor right now at the point my channel's at. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to lay you off, but we were still on great terms. We still talk to this day, and I've even been getting advice for him on building this channel right here. But at the end of the day, I was really sad to have lost this job. So from June of 2022 to October of 2022, I had spent my time working as an editor for Sam. I took the month of October to kind of reorganize myself, reflect on my experiences, and further my growth in terms of my physique, my personal development, and just think about what I want to do. Then, at the end of October of 2022, Sam sends me a DM for a job opportunity to work as a video editor for Hamza. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was blown away by this. I feel like most people would be. This was a crazy opportunity, especially for a 17-year-old. So naturally, I went through the application process. It was pretty similar to the one with Sam, except a lot higher level. This wasn't just any application, this was a test. It was almost as if Sam personally taught me and crafted me to be a perfect fit to work on Hamza's editing team. So I took about a week or so working on this video, and I get it back to Sam, and it went something like this. Thomas, this is the worst fucking video I've ever seen. You have 200 revisions. And so what did I do? I used my noggin in my student mindset. Instead of complaining and being like, this guy's an asshole, my video is amazing, I was like, actually, you're right, this video is fucking dog shit. What was I thinking? And I completely revised it. We're now at the beginning slash first week of November. In about a 2-week time span, I'd probably increased my editing ability by 30%. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea how to make animations or edit like Hamza's editors did. I figured it out on the fly. So after a little trial and error, I send the video back, and I sit there, literally on the edge of my fucking seat, waiting to hear back from Sam and Hamza. To my pleasant surprise, I got the position. Now, to this day, in terms of money put in my pocket, this job was pretty much the most money I've ever made. I'm not going to go into specifics, but Hamza paid us extremely well. Pay that I'm sure colleagues from a business standpoint would tell him he's absolutely out of his mind for paying editors. Having this position gave me a major confidence boost and really reaffirmed the fact that I can be successful, and if I put my mind to it, I can accomplish just about fucking anything. I mean, I went from eating gummy bears and playing video games all day looking like this to working for Hamza. So from November of 2022 to February of 2023, I worked for Hamza. And as you may notice, or at least I hope, in my other videos, I think it really shows my production quality. Now in February, Hamza did a mass layoff of the editing team. It was very unfortunate, but from a business standpoint, I can totally see it. I probably would have done the same thing. He wanted to cut costs and shift his business towards making money and actually profiting, which any business should. And again, throughout this whole thing, I was continuously improving, working on my physique, educating myself, learning about YouTube, learning about social media, understanding personal branding. So February 2023, I get laid off. I'm like, fuck. What do I do now? Okay, I'll cold email people. Within about a week of being laid off, I immediately got another job. And before I get into who my new position was for, I will say that having worked for Hamza was almost like Willy Wonka's golden fucking ticket when it came to video editing. I could have probably shot just about anybody a cold email and nearly got the job. That's how prestigious of a role this really was. Almost everyone in the self-improvement space and even just related niches around the self-improvement space is aware of Hamza's channel and the crazy fucking editing that me and the 6 other team members on this team put forth. So the next channel I ended up working for went by the name of Ski Mask Duets. Now again, this is another individual that really helped me further my progress and self-development. I had lost a lot of weight at this point and had really gotten into fitness and decided that I kind of wanted more than just a six-pack. I would describe my physique at this point as somewhat skinny fat. So around this time, I decided to go on a bulk. Now this bulk was not done properly at all, but I did gain a lot of muscle from it. Now bulking was really new to me. As you can tell by how I looked a year or two ago, I wasn't exactly in any position to be bulking. So again, another extremely well-timed event. I got a lot of help from Ski Mask Duets as far as my fitness progress, and he was just a great mentor figure when it came to developing my physique. We'd made a lot of great moves when we worked together on the channel. I'm really sad to see that he quit social media, but I have a feeling that one day on this channel, you're gonna see a collaboration between me and him. So I had a video editing job. I was learning tons about YouTube. I basically had a fitness coach in my pocket for free 24/7. I'd bulked up until about April or May of 2023. At this point, I decided, okay, shit, I'm kind of fat. I need to get shredded for summer. I went on my first actually proper and decent cut, and I had cut until the remainder of my time working with Ski Mask Duets, which was July of 2023. And I just want to reiterate my gratitude for having the opportunity to have worked for Sam, Hamza, and Ski Mask Duets. It was really just a great fucking experience. Everything about it was perfect for my development. If I were to go back, I don't think I would do it any other way. Man, it was such a good time. I stopped working for Ski Mask Duets. What's next? In July of 2023, I started a dropshipping store. I finished up my first little cut. At first, this was pretty much me jumping on a little bit of a trend. I'd saw some YouTube videos and decided to give it a shot. Now, at first, I didn't take it seriously at all. But what I didn't know was I adapt to situations like Maharaga. Just like when I got the job opportunity for Hamza and I improved my editing abilities on the fly. I was extremely successful with this dropshipping store. I'd made several $1,000s, and I'm probably gonna put some revenue numbers on screen in terms of what I did in total. I learned a fuck ton about business during this time, and I made a ton of mistakes. But essentially, I, a newly turned 18-year-old, my birthday's in July, had gone from just being a YouTube editor to a 6-figure entrepreneur. I'm not gonna lie, this was way too much for me to handle, and I was extremely overconfident. I decided to make a seasonal Halloween dropshipping store, and you may be wondering, how did that go? Well, revenue-wise, it did pretty good. Profit-wise, I'd lost everything that I'd made on my previous store. This led to me breaking even, and at the end of the day, I lost a little bit of money. It was nothing that I could easily recover from, but I was really down about the whole thing, and to this day, I'm still playing a little bit of cleanup when it comes to these dropshipping stores because you can't just completely shut it down and forget about it. And I ate like garbage from July of 2023 to December of 2023. Another big change. In August of 2023, I came to college. So that kind of played a role in not being able to manage my diet as well, but I pretty much have 24/7 access to the gym. So as I kind of fizzled out of my little dropshipping fad, if you can call it that, I think it was just a fad. The entire thing was just for the money. And the entire time, I've really just been focused on building my physique and trying to look better so that I can start doing this, what I'm doing right here. So November of 2023, I stopped dropshipping and I focus pretty much full time on building my physique and fitness. But I called it a bulk, which it really wasn't. It was kind of like an extended binge where I tried to mitigate damages by tracking my calories. But I did put on a very substantial amount of muscle during this time, so we can call it a bulk. I decided to wait and hold off on starting my own personal brand because I wanted to get in very good conditioning and shape before then. And at this point, I just didn't have the muscle mass to do so. So I went on the most outrageous bulk imaginable. Not gonna lie, kind of did play out in my favor, but I would not recommend it because now I'm cutting still. I'm almost down 30 pounds now from mid-December to it is now mid-March. Been cutting a while. If I just bulk cleaner, I could still be bulking right now, but it is what it is. It's almost surreal now that I'm starting my own thing. It's like everything leading up to now just fucking crafted me into the perfect specimen to start my own career. I've always wanted to turn my passion for fitness and use my body transformation to help other people do the same thing. So naturally, I've made a ton of physique progress from November until now because I essentially made fitness my full-time job, even though I wasn't making any money from it or doing much when it came to content. Because the entire period was pretty much me dialing in and getting ready for what I'm doing right here. The mastermind, perfectly crafted to be a successful content creator. Hey editor, add explosions. Oh wait, I am the editor. It was a bit long, but I think it was pretty interesting. Couple plot twists in there. That's pretty much the complete story.